And now the waiting begins. I'm going to move this over just a little bit and hopefully not block your view. Oh, how about that much right there? Other glasses, because I'm a grandpa. Hello, American Reefing. Ooh. So, do we have sound? Is it too loud? Is it just right? See lots of people trickling in. You know, I really should start saying the live stream will start at 2:08 because I never can seem to hit it at 2 o'clock exactly, which it's not on purpose. I mean, I want to be punctual, but I always find myself scrambling for a few more things I need to do before the show starts. And yeah, so we end up with 2:08, which I'm sure confuses some people. So let's see, lots of comments. Reef Madness, that is awesome. You started your own YouTube channel. Congratulations. All right, so, okay, good. I got one person told me that we have sound. I just wanted to double check. Okay, so I have a lot to cover today. And we're going to get into the first thing I want to talk about is the big fundraiser, because that is the most exciting part. So what I want to do first of all is explain. I did a video that I released, I believe, 2 days ago. I feel like it came out Thursday morning, and it was a 3-minute video, which my YouTube channel, no one likes to watch short videos from me. I do a video for an hour and 20 minutes, and I get 7,000 views, and I upload a video that's 3 minutes long, and it gets 500 views. It's crazy. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's an algorithm thing, or if you guys say, oh, that must be a commercial, I'm not going to watch it. I don't know. But my point is that it was an important one. I want to keep it short, get to the point, and give you guys the opportunity to donate to a cause that involved adopting a coral thicket in Bonaire. So I set this up, I created a donate button, and a bunch of you came forward and contributed already. And I have that information saved here somewhere because I wanted to tell you. Okay, I need to pull up one more window and close one. Just 1 second. I think I got a little overly excited and closed down something I needed. All right. So, donations. The goal of the donations, or what we want to reach, is $1,000. And $1,000 is how you adopt a coral thicket, which is a staghorn acropora in Bonaire that will have a tag that will have Club Milos Reef on it. And they also said that if you donate the $1,000, we're going to put up a sign that's hand painted on driftwood that says Club Milos Reef, and it goes on their pole of fame forever. I guess until a hurricane knocks it down. But my point is, that's pretty exciting, and I thought, let's do this. Now, obviously, we're not buying a coral. We're also not buying a sign. We're contributing toward a cause where they are planting corals in the ocean to rebuild lost reefs. And that is what Coral Restoration Foundation did in Florida. So this group, which is an affiliate of them, is doing the exact same thing. And I've never been to Bonaire before, so that's why I'm doing this big trip. And it turns out that this, what do you call it? This concept that has spread to this part of the world, and I believe it's in a couple other locations too, is more and more divers are going on vacation and spending half of one of their days planting some corals to kind of do some good in the world. And by contributing money to these organizations, it kind of helps pay for getting the boat out there, the operating expenses that are involved. Because think about, I don't remember paying much at all when I did CRF in Florida. So I'll let you know what kind of expenses I incur when I go to Bonaire, but I don't remember paying much. Maybe I had to pay for the air tank itself, because you have to be able to breathe while you're down there for 45 minutes or so, where you're taking corals and you're putting them to the rockwork. Anyway, I want to get to the point. So I asked for $1,000, and as of right now, we have $1,528. We've already hit our goal in less than 2 days, and I was hoping 9 days would be enough time. So it really begs the question, do we want to give them even more money? So I'm actually opening that up to the live stream today to kind of give me your feedback. Should we just shut it down? Should I just start, as donations come in, reject them? because I only asked for the 1,000. I'm not trying to rake in dollars, but at the same time, I feel like the more money we give, the better the outcome for the coral planting project, right? So I am wanting to know what your thoughts are. So right now we can adopt a thicket, and we have enough money to adopt a coral tree, which a coral tree is this PVC contraption that is weighted at the bottom and has floats at the top, and it dangles in the ocean, and they have all the frags hanging off these trees where, you know, it's a little frag with a fishing line, which I helped make in Florida. And those little frags then will grow into bigger pieces, and when they're big enough, they go plant them with putty on the rockwork in a different location. So we can adopt a tree now as well as a coral thicket because we already have enough money. In full disclosure, because it went through PayPal, we paid, or PayPal took their share of fees was $65.81. So that wasn't bad. And the $1,528 is what's left from, you know, after the $65 was taken out. So what did we almost got $1,600 basically in the last couple of days. So awesome job, guys. And because we are talking about this right now, I'm going to thank everyone by name. So this list is a little bit long, and I'm just going to go through it because I feel like each person deserves some attention. So we're going to start with Mark Levinson because I had to test to make sure the donate button worked. Then we have Eric Vignola, who is the person that came up with this idea and made me do it. We got Andrea Villarreal, Ron Finkelstein, Christopher B. McDowell, Daniel Schneider, Stephanie Daniels, William Smithy, Thomas Glatley, Jason Corando. I want to thank all of you so far. That was really awesome of you. Lost my spot, of course. Beverly Lopez, Michael Longfoot, James Downing, Zachary Hazlitt, Eldon Walls, Amaral Sarar, a one-name person, Ronald Van Uden, Nancy McCrae, James Freeman, Kerry Riley, Ricardo Barrera, Samuel Christensen, Alexandria Barr, Todd Stoffel, Melvin Rugrock, Jonathan Ewald, John Higgins. I should have practiced this. Mike Aragon, Glenn Smith, Jonathan Sukdio, Jack Donahoe, William Koch, Caitlin Mansfield, Stacy Pizak, Mike Shifton, Taylor Stanley, Mike Van Sun. See, the list just keeps going. Matthew Reinert, Deborah Smith, Yardworks Landscape Management, didn't say who they actually were. Jerry Ebner Jr., James Geyer, Jacob Kramer, Sherry Ormiston, Twisted Lanyards, Daniel Leclerc, Robert Suttle, Steve Jennings, Dwayne Ostreich, John Barthel, Luis Bello, Keith Singer, Thuy Van The Tran, Dave Morris, and Michael Jones. So far, that is who all has donated to this cause. That's awesome. And I kind of was hoping for Club Milo's Reef that we would have thousands, and obviously I can't read off a list of thousands, that's crazy, but I love the idea that the entire club was going to contribute to this project. I just felt like that's a really cool thing to do, and the more people attach to it, the more I think we take ownership of it, and we can feel pride that we did something nice. So I do thank every one of you for trusting me with your money, and the money you gave is specifically for the project. It is not $1 for me. I just have to contact them now and ask them, how do I pay you? Is it through my credit card? Is it through do I bring them a check? Do I bring them cashier's check? Do I bring them American Express dollars? I don't know. So I got to find that out. I have a week to do it. Next Saturday, there will not be a live stream because I will actually be on my way to Bonaire. So this is exciting, and I'm glad we hit our goal. So I need to know what you guys think. Should we keep going? And so the moderators have been keeping track of the chat for me, which is awesome because I cannot do the chat and talk to the camera all at once. But they'll give me the overall feedback. Too bad we couldn't do like a poll button in the chat. That would have been cool. Now, what else can I tell you? That's everything about the fundraiser. We have a header on Club Milo's Reef on Facebook where we show we're promoting it. The video is out. I don't push it everywhere because we're promoting Club Milo's Reef. We're asking Club Milo's Reef to donate. So if I were to share this in some other group, they might think, well, that's weird. I mean, yeah, I can contribute, but the attention's going to our club. So we're focusing it on the Milo's Reef page and on Club Milo's Reef. And I did a blog on my website to let people know. But, you know, it would have been nice if at least 7,000 people saw the video. That way they can decide for themselves. When the numbers are low, I always get a little discouraged because we want a lot of eyeballs on our videos when we run a YouTube channel. I mean, that's just normal. You do the work, and someone actually commented on this video and said, you need more subscribers, more people should be paying attention, you know a lot. And I was thinking, well, we're about to hit 50,000 subscribers, but for some reason only a small handful have actually seen the video so far, for whatever reason. Maybe because it came out on a weird day and they didn't know, and they're going to see this video and then say, oh, I got to check that out, and they will check it out. So that would be awesome. Let me throw this on the screen. Oops, not that. I mean, that's just normal. You do the work, and that's me on YouTube. That's funny. I didn't know I could even do that. Let's see. How do I add? I want to add a picture. Oh, yeah. I haven't done this in a while. Plus. So I'll throw. I should have done this on the screen before I started talking, right? And we'll hide this one and this one. And where did my new thing I just added go? Here it is. Oh, that was it. So here's our project. And yes, I do this in the wrong order. I apologize, but that's us. And that is what we were working on. So pull that back off the screen. And okay, so that was the first thing. Now, the next thing I want to know, or the next thing I want to get into, is going to be the ICP analysis of my tanks, of all the water. I sent in 3 samples, 400-gallon reef, Frag system, and then the brand new poly tank of salt water I mixed up from a new brand of salt called Royal Nature that's being imported from Israel. And I wanted to see what these numbers were. Now, I was very, very, very curious about what my ICP analysis was going to be for my, I want to pull it up on the screen here, for my, my reef that has not had a water change in 18 months. I mean, and okay, so let me catch you up on that if you're new to this live stream, new to the channel, or new to me. I've been running a reef tank now for, well, I've been involved in this hobby for 20 years. I've been reef keeping for 18 years of the 20. I've never had fresh water. And, you know, there's a general rule, change 25% of your water once a month. And what I have been doing is doing water changes when I'm in the mood. And I had zero mood to do water changes on my reef over the last 18 months because I was testing things. And one of the things I wanted to test originally was one of these ceramic bricks you put in your sump and it's supposed to remove nitrate. And so I thought, well, if you do water changes, you're tricking or you're cheating the system. I want to see if the brick actually does it. And so I ran the brick for about 8, maybe 9 months, and the nitrates didn't come down. They didn't go up, but they didn't come down. So, and the one downside for me in my case, and I'm not putting the product down because I don't know if it works better for others. That's the thing about this hobby. Some things will work for one guy and they won't work for the next. But the brick in my system made almost all of the feather caulerpa in my refugium die. And I was down to maybe 10% of what I started with. And as soon as I removed that brick after the 9 months, the macroalgae started to return. So that's interesting to me. I also tried to lower nitrate after that rapidly with some vodka dosing, and I was creating some kind of weird bacterial strains, and I felt nervous about it, and so I just stopped that as well. And then I thought, well, I really would like to do a water ICP test and find out what is in my tank after all this time without a water change. I mean, all I've got is what I'm adding to the tank, which is going to be food, Prodibio, what else do I dose? Magnesium, and then, you know, the calcium reactor. That's all part of the system 24 hours a day. So really, it comes down to fish pee, fish poop, and what's building up in the rockwork. And I wanted to see what has happened in 18 months. You know, what has the refugium done? What has, because I didn't add any salt water to the tank the entire time. All I did was top off. So, okay, there was top off water being added every day, and what's in the top off water? Now, I didn't test that. I wasn't curious enough to find out about RODI water. I just kind of assumed it was fine. So, what I got here on my screen, let me see if I can figure out how to share this to you guys. And I need to make this the right size. Give me 1 second here. I got all 3 results last night. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I've not done this before, and so I'm learning with you, but I did a little bit of homework. So, a tiny bit, hardly any. Let me also turn off notifications here so nothing comes on my screen. Okay. And I'll turn off this because I like my privacy. All right, perfect. Now we're going to do this. And we're going to go to this and make it bigger. And let me see what you guys can see. I have to verify. Okay, that's pretty much a good look. I think you guys can see that pretty well. What we've got here, what's happening? I gotta make sure I see it's filling the screen. Oh, that's so neat. All right, cool. Huh. All right, well, learning what's going on. And I'm gonna move this out of my way a little bit. So here is the 400-gallon mixed reef water sample. The ICP test itself, no, I gotta bounce back. The ICP test itself is a small cardboard box with a tab you rip off. You take the vial, you add your tank water, you screw the cap, you put a label in there, you put what the sample is, like 400-gallon reef, your email address and your phone number. You put that in a Ziploc bag, you put that in the box, you tape the box shut because I didn't trust the box. And I put 2 stamps on it to mail it back to the address on the box. And then I waited. I had to wait about 2 weeks. It was a long wait. It seemed long to me. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to when I sent off. And then I got this email saying, your test results are in. All right, so here we are. We're back on this now. And if you look, the only thing that is lit up out of my entire panel after 18 months of no water changes was iodine. And when I click it, it shows over here, I'm at 0.21 ppm. They're saying the level is too high. And over here on the side, I got a box in my way here. Let me move this. On the side here, it shows that in the ocean in Fiji, it measures 0.04, and I'm at 0.21. So I'm too high. If you wanted to compare to other places, you can compare to Hawaii, where they're at 0.4. St. Thomas is 0. Well, look at those guys. Florida, it's 0.03, and ICP recommends 0.06. So I'm way high on iodine. So basically, if I'm reading this test kit correctly, and if they gave me a good analysis, then I can stop dosing iodine for a while. And iodine is something that I've been only adding via Prodibio. Prodibio is a 1 vial you just pour into the tank, and iodine plus or IOD plus is what I break off the tabs and put 1 vial in 2 times a month. So I'm just going to hold off on that for a little while and just kind of maybe see if this will come down. I'm not really sure why it's up. But if you look at the rest of the sheet, everything on here is white. There's nothing bad. The one that's blue is because we're clicked on it. We go to potassium, and you can see a comparison. They were suggesting it, ICP recommendations, see over here, suggested. They suggest you should be 380, and I'm at 340. So I need to raise potassium. That's okay, I haven't dosed it, so it makes sense. Lanthanum, I was so glad to see this on the test, because I am a huge lanthanum user. I put this stuff in my tank all the time. And people are always like, oh my God, what will lanthanum do to your tank? And I've heard this, and it's none of that, and rah, rah, rah. I've been using lanthanum in various forms for 14 years, going on 15 years, only to remove phosphate. I don't use anything else to remove phosphate. I don't rely on water changes. I don't rely on macroalgae. I don't rely on GFO because I don't even use that. I only put in lanthanum. And after all that time, 18 months of the same water in my tank, lanthanum measured almost nothing. It's like, yes, it works. It works exactly like I was assuming. And I have a little bit of proof, which that makes me happy. That's really cool. So we'll come back to this. So yeah, 0.008 parts per million versus their 0.01 parts per million. I'm below that. That's awesome. And let's go ahead and check the other comparison. So Fiji, 0.007. Hawaii, 0.008. Hi, match Hawaii. St. Thomas, 0.01. And Florida, okay, Florida has no lanthanum. Look at those guys. All right, well, whatever. The fact is that I've been using it, and it has done nothing bad. And I use it, I don't know, I seem to be using it about 6 times a year now, so about every 2 months. Aluminum, I'm at 0.56. The recommendation is 0.05, so I'm right around the same spot. Arsenic, I'm a little bit up instead of 0.01 and 0.023. Boron is up higher, but I know nothing about boron, so I can't answer you on that. Barium measured 0, beryllium measured 0. Bromine, I'm at 37, and they'd like it to be 51. Well, I don't know where to get bromine. I'm going to assume that's in the salt mix. My calcium level measured 377 at this test, and that makes sense because my test kit when I measured before sending the water off was 375. And let me get into that for a second. Something that you might want to consider if you do an ICP test, measure all of your water parameters. Write it down on a piece of paper, scoop the sample out of your tank, put the lid on, and mail it off. And then when you get the results, compare it to those test results you took yourself. If you just send it off without any results to compare against, then it's just kind of like an empty test. Like, okay, on that day, that's what my numbers were. But this way you know, how's my kit doing? And we can't compare everything. Like I noticed there's no alkalinity on here. Somewhere on the screen it showed my salinity, but now I don't see it. But I grabbed some screenshots, so maybe it's in the screenshot. I don't know. Back to this. Okay, cadmium, which I don't know what it is, but it's at 0.001. Cerium? I'm saying that right? And then chlorine. Okay, that one's an interesting one. Chlorine in our water. And, you know, we always talk about chloramines, chlorine, ammonia. These are things we worry about. Well, chlorine was measuring quite high, I would think. That seems like a big, ginormous number, but shows Fiji has pretty much the same number. Hawaii's over 18,000. Florida is over 19,000. St. Thomas is at 19,005. And ICP is suggesting 19,000. So I'm a little bit below what apparently is the standard for chlorine, which I did not know. Cobalt is nice and low, 0.01. Chromium, 0. Copper, none, because I don't use any. Iron, none, because I don't use GFO. Gallium, don't know what that is. You saw iodine. Potassium, I think we did. Yeah, I need to somehow raise that. We did that. Lithium, that was kind of cool because I've always heard people with ICP tests get high numbers on lithium, but mine was only 0.081, and that's below the 0.3 that ICP is recommending. I am below Fiji. I am below Hawaii. I am below, yeah, I'm definitely below St. Thomas. And I am even below Florida. Yeah, so that's interesting. Magnesium measured at 1350. And it's funny how they say Fiji, it's even lower. Let's see what ICP recommends. So they suggest 1250 to 1325, and I was at 1350. I actually like around 1400. But I don't really sweat that. I'm not trying to hit that number, but I feel like 1400 is really good for my Montipora. Manganese, measured 0. Molybdenum, I can never say that, measured well at 0.01. Sodium, see this is the thing, I would want to know salinity. But anyway, it shows sodium was at 9060, and ICP recommends 10,500. Let's see, Fiji's 10,005, Hawaii 10,172, St. Thomas. So it's just kind of a comparison game just to kind of see. Florida, I'm below the Florida level when it comes to sodium. All right, and then we'll go back to, we'll just keep this at Fiji for fun. Nickel measures nice and low. Phosphorus was 0.1, and we're going to go look at everyone around the world here really quick. 0.05, 0.07. 0.07, 0.12. Okay, so I'm kind of matching Florida when it comes to phosphorus. And then ICP recommends 0.003. Lead. I have a little tiny bit of lead in the water. Rubidium, 0. Sulfur is measuring kind of high, a little bit higher than ICP recommends. And again, if we do the comparison, I'm higher than Fiji. Higher than Hawaii. Do you think some water changes would bring my sulfur level down? And where is it coming from? Almost exactly the same as St. Thomas, like within a point. Florida, I'm way below Florida. Okay. Antimony, isn't that what you pay after you get divorced? 0.011. Selenium is 0. Silicone, this is a weird one. There's a measurement of silicone. So I have to ask, are my seams melting? I really don't know. All right, silicone, weird. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I couldn't find any information on it. Tin is 0.06, and everyone else is supposed to be at 0.01 or 0.02, and so I'm a little bit high on tin. Strontium, I'm only at 8. I could actually dose strontium. My reef could benefit from strontium, apparently. And that is something I've seen people sell and I've never thought about. So I might embrace it. But look here, this shows me higher than what's in Fiji. And I'm higher than what's in Hawaii. Maybe I don't need it. Yeah, I'm higher than everyone except what ICP. ICP says use more. And then titanium, 0. Thallium, 0. Uranium, 0.05. Uranium, man, I can make my own. I won't say it on the camera. Vanadium, 0.002. And their numbers are very, very low. Tungsten, 0.08, and they like it to be way down here. Let's see what suggested is. 0. All right, well, whatever. And then zinc, I was at 0. So that is the results for my reef tank, which is very stable, and you see my corals grow, and they're awesome, right? Now, let's jump to the Frag tank, because that is the one I've had nothing but trouble with, and these results are very interesting. So the Frag tank, on the other hand, has all kinds of red squares. So apparently there's a bunch of arsenic in there. I don't know where that came from. There's bromine, that's too low. My potassium is too low, and strontium is way too low. So that tank also has not had any water changes in the same 18 months. Because if I'm not doing water changes in one tank, I'm not doing on the other. So I'm going to put that tank through a bunch of water changes, and that'll probably get everything back on track. Because coralline is growing, the anemones are alive in there, the leathers are growing, the fish seem healthy. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all that. Also, where is my picture of... see this. So this was the screenshot I was telling you guys about before. So here it showed the salinity of the tank, 33.5. So it wasn't, it was about, I think that's 1.024. And that's what my refractometer is measuring. Then my Frag tank measured right at 1.025, or 1.026 actually, at 35.07 ppt. And then finally, the interesting one I wanted to know about was this one, which is the new saltwater that I just tested. So this one here showed my salinity was a little bit low, probably again around 1.024. And so let's jump to that. Let me get this stuff off the screen. See, oh, sorry. And get rid of that. Okay, so now we are on the Frag tank. And the only thing that it didn't like out of the brand new saltwater I mixed up was sulfur. And even then it said it was low, which in my reef it measured high. But everything else came across. This is brand new saltwater from Royal Nature that I mixed up. It was mixing for, well, been running in circulation in a sealed container for a couple of weeks before I grabbed the sample. And every single one of these, I'm just clicking through them, even though obviously you can see the numbers at the bottom, and you can just kind of look. But it came back as a good test result. So if this was a brand you're considering buying, there's no flags in here. So I wouldn't really sweat any of this stuff. I think any salt mix, for the most part, will take care of you when it comes to setting up a reef tank, as long as it's reef-based salt mix and not just fish only. And in that case, all I can tell you is that, you know, if something is lacking, add that one thing yourself. And that's not so difficult to do. With our own test kits, we can measure alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, and dose those as needed. And we can also dose. We can do things to make the water a little bit better if there's a need. So, all right, that's pretty much everything. So let me bring this chat back up here so I can see some of this. And I'm sure there's a ton of questions because I had to ignore everyone. So, nice. Okay. That is where I'm at with the ICP tests. And I want to emphasize it's not the cure to what your tank needs, but it may be a good way to get a annual report, or maybe 2 times a year. You just kind of double check your numbers and kind of make sure, especially if your tank is acting up and you're really having problems, it might be worth the ICP. Again, you know, I always throw ideas out there. I'd love it if some of you guys did these ideas that I had. That way we could learn together collectively what is the solution. So let's say you have a tank with bad dinoflagellates. I'd love for you to scoop out a sample of that, not this dinoflagellate, scoop the water, send it into ICP, and let's see what your numbers measure. And see what we can figure out exactly what is depleted, what is so lacking that dinos flourish so well. Which now leads me to my next topic, because I don't want to have you guys bored to death here today. So I have been talking about live rock enhance, and this stuff here blew me away. I used it, and I had someone ask me on my video last night under when I mentioned it. He said, well, you used it 4 times. Why did you keep using it? I wanted to see what it could do, and I had a theory, and so I tried it. But my point was my frag tank had some cyano in it, and I said, what if this could get rid of cyano? And it wasn't that, this doesn't say it. It says on here, enhances pore structure of live rock and sand. Enhance and maintain biological filtration cycle. Enhance curing of live rock. That's the 3 things that it promises right on the label in red ink. And then inside when you open it are some basic instructions. Now, what I want to say, and I could be incorrect because I don't sell, I am selling this, but I didn't invent it. This is new to me just as much as it's new to you. I just got to play with it first. And I used it in my reef 2 times. You put in 1 scoop of the powder for every 25 liquid gallons. My system is 450 gallons, so I must have put in 9 scoops. And I literally dumped it on top of the water, and some of it floated and some of it fell into the reef and blew around, and I filmed some of that, and that's going to be its own standalone video in the very near future. And my entire reef was interested what the hell's going on. I was a little worried about all the stuff just going along the surface and down the drain, but then again, I was told by Tulio at Reef Bright, that's who makes this, is Reef Bright, it says right there. He said, that's fine. You want it in all your water. It's bacteria. Let the bacteria go everywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. I did not turn off the skimmer. I did not turn off GFO. I didn't turn off anything. Everything was running. All I did was go scoop, 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 and I just kind of basically, in theory, walked away. I did nothing. The tank got cloudy for a few hours because the bacteria blooms and comes alive. I watched my fish eat these little pearls that are blowing around, the little nuggets of the stuff. The fish were completely unaffected. No one complained about a stomachache. They ate it, and I didn't see anyone spit it out. They just ate it. And what if, and again, I have all these theories. What if fish eating this bacteria that consumes waste, what if, and I'm sure people like Paul Posch are out there going, are you kidding me? How can you say this on the web? But what if when fish eat this, it gets rid of internal parasites out of their gut? Okay, just a theory. No idea if it'll work, but that would be awesome. Now, it's not like edible food. My fish just eat everything I throw in the tank. But so, I can't just say, have a sick fish, throw this in there, and watch the fish get better. But what if the byproduct of this being in the tank, the fish ate it and helped clear out worms out of their intestines or something? I do know it cleaned all the live rock in my frag tank, which blew me away. I didn't even notice it till someone else mentioned it on Facebook. And I went and looked at him, I was like, holy crap, my rock looks so much better. He's 100% right. And I started trying to take pictures, and there's a lot of reflections. But I showed a picture to you guys last week. It looks a lot better. It looked dingy. It was kind of like different colors. Now it's like clean rock, but not like brand new white rock like Marco rock. It just was clean live rock. And wherever the purple coralline was, it is thicker and richer and more pretty. And I think that by having the rock cleaner, the coralline can spread better. And the increased porosity of your rock allows it to be better at the denitrification that our tanks need. So that was very, very interesting to me, and I was very impressed. Not to mention, by putting it in that tank several times, I could see if the tank would do anything weird or if it maintained itself. And all it did was get better and better. That being said, and like I said, I didn't invent this stuff, I don't think this is something you're going to use on a regular basis. I think you're going to use it when you need it. Just like I say for phosphate RX, you put it in the tank when the phosphates are up. You don't put it in the tank when they're down. Why would you do that? They're already down. So if you were curing live rock in a barrel, this might be the perfect thing to put in that barrel. Because, again, I didn't turn off any skimmers or do anything. I just let everything run. So this bacteria in here, the enzymes in here, they'll just help clean that rock up. So if you've got older rock and you're trying to cook it, which I have a video about cooking live rock, you could add this to the barrel. If you have 30 gallons of water, you're going to put in a scoop. I mean, this jar holds 2,000 gallons worth of scoops. 2,000 gallons worth total. So that could be really great for that. I wanted to use it on my 5-year-old reef, and I did. I used it on there twice, and my rockwork looked cleaner. I haven't done it a third time because I ran out. And I ordered in 20 jars to put in the shop so you guys could try it out. And I sold like 10 of them instantly. And then I received my order finally, and there was 11 in it. And I was like, ah. So I contacted them and said, where are my product? And so they're sending me more because more of you have expressed interest than I expected. And I guarantee you, I'm not getting rich selling this. I am happy to sell anything to you for my shop, and I love it when you buy more than one thing. But everyone that's trying it out because you're trusting me, I appreciate that. I would not tell you to get this if I felt like it was a scam or if it was snake oil. I saw night and day difference. I watched the cyano go away. I'm wondering if you could use this in a tank with dinoflagellates, if it would make the dinos go away. And we have a couple of people have already told me, Mark, I've ordered it from you as soon as it goes out, which they all shipped yesterday. Whoever got it, they're supposed to be doing before and after pictures, and they're going to go ahead and let me know if it worked with their dinos. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? It may not work in the first try. What if you did it 4 times in 2 weeks like I suggested, like I did with my own Frag system, and it just cleared it up? That would be really cool. So that is the update on Live Rock Enhance. And it is 2:44 right now. We've only been at this for about 35 or 40 minutes, I guess. Yeah, 36 minutes. So, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I see people are commenting. They got it. Today is water test Saturday. Got to test your water. I just got these results, but they're from water 2 weeks ago, so I need to test my tank as well, and I'm going to totally do that. And let me kind of divulge into another area, and then I got to talk about something else. I got to put a note here because I'm going to forget. I can already tell. Okay, got my note. And a sip of coffee. Dang it, what was I going to say? Water test Saturday, test your water. Oh yes, the Trident and the Apex controller. The Trident is still coming soon. We don't know when. But I've been reading comments by people, and they have been saying that because of their Apex controller, when something ran out, which in this case specifically was a CO2 tank. CO2 is what we use with a calcium reactor. And the calcium reactor has CO2 bubbling into the media, and it lowers the pH in the body of the reactor. And the media melts, and what trickles out is liquid alkalinity and liquid calcium, and that's what goes back into your reef. That's why calcium reactors are so awesome, and I consider them to be nicer than dosing pumps. They cost a lot, but you know what? People are spending so much money on dosing pumps now, it's actually the same price. So we can no longer say, oh, dosing is cheaper. Actually, dosing is more work in my opinion, but I'm going way off track. Let me get back on target. The thing is, because of their Apex controller, they were able to measure the pH levels, and they noticed that their pH in the reactor rose, and they discovered their CO2 tank ran out. And it's that kind of maintenance that is so important as hobbyists. So if you are not testing your water, you have no idea what's going on in your tank. And to say, well, I'm looking at my corals, and I've been doing this a long time, and I know what I'm doing, that's never a good answer. And when something really goes wrong, what do you think we're all going to ask you? Well, what are your water parameters? So it's really important that you test your water, and I really recommend you test it every single week. And I know that we get busy. I'm bad. I've missed a few weeks myself, here and there. I'm telling you on Saturday, let's do this, and I hang up on YouTube, and then I go live my life, and I'm like, I didn't test. And the test kits are sitting there all week in my way, and I keep working around them instead of using them and putting them away because I'm so dumb. But testing your water can avert disaster before you start losing those corals that you spent a lot of money on. So we want to do that. And if you are testing, and if you are cleaning, and if you are inspecting gear on a regular basis, you will find that your tank will do better long term. So let me throw this on the screen. I took another picture, and I stuck it here on my screen. And now we're going to, there it is. Ha, that was easy. So this is my Instagram. And it's, Instagram.com/MilosReef. Easy to find. And these pictures right here which I don't know if you can see where I'm putting my mouse. But anyway, those pictures right there you see in that screenshot are some of the images I shared last night. And actually, several of those have a little white square in the upper right corner, which means that there's multiple images there, and you can swipe through them all. And what you can do is actually see that I was inspecting these Vortech pumps, and I discovered that one of my magnets had failed. So, and by failed, it means it's splitting open and it's beginning to rust, and of course that's bad for the system. Now, if I ignored my pump and just let it keep running until it finally stopped, and then I took it apart, I'd discover the problem. But the longer you leave that thing leaching crap into the water quietly around the clock, like a little ticking time bomb, the worse it can affect corals. And you keep thinking, oh, but my alkalinity is fine. Why is there a problem in my tank? When it's just a magnet has split in a frag rack, in a cleaning magnet, in a skimmer pump, in a gyre, in a Vortech, in a Jabo. Things happen and our equipment does not last forever. So take it apart, clean it well, study it closely, look for errors, look for flaws. I found a bad magnet. I'm going to replace that entire wet side with a new one. Nothing lasts forever. And, so I got to buy a new one every few years. So be it. In the meantime, it provides flow in my tank and it makes me happy. And I don't have to do a lot of maintenance on it other than the occasional cleaning. And last night's Instagram posts, I was showing, which you guys watched a video not too long ago, where I used muriatic acid to clean those pumps. And I cleaned a couple, and I was taking pictures step by step. And those were on there. So if you're not following me on Instagram, check it out. If you don't want to follow me on Instagram, you can still go check it out. And then just not follow me. But I always recommend that you follow me everywhere. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, follow me here on YouTube. Subscribe to everything that is related to me. Go to my website, buy things from my website. I need to put this on here really quick. Spend money at Milo's Reef. And here's something I want to go into. I'm not going to do a big spiel, but this is kind of exciting. 10 years ago, basically, this month, I decided I was no longer going to do the work I was doing, which was stripping and waxing floors late at night. I did that for a long, long time. I did it for 21 years. And I was sick of doing it, and I didn't want to go back to work anymore. I just couldn't see another floor. I was fed up. So instead, I told myself, I'm going to make money with Milo's Reef, or I'm just going to starve to death and die. And that has been 10 years now that I've been making my sole income as Milo's Reef. So when you guys go to my website and buy things, you are helping me continue to do everything I do, whether it's educate you, write blog entries, spend money on my aquarium, travel across the nation to speak. All those things that happen are happening because of people buying things from Milo's Reef. So I always do appreciate very much when customers buy things. And I realize I'm not like Amazon. I can't give you free shipping. I can't even come close to free shipping. But you are supporting a hobbyist that is very, well, I have always called myself a hobbyist. And people tell me I got to start calling myself an industry person. But you are supporting a person that loves this hobby very much. That is an absolute fact. And so I kind of live and breathe this all day long until I go to sleep. And then I start my day and I'm online, I'm answering questions, I'm updating people, I'm doing social media, I'm thinking about what to edit next, I'm building things on my table. I got 15 orders out yesterday. I was so proud of myself and so exhausted at the same time. But it was great to see businesses continuing to grow, and I thank you all for what you've done so far. And if you haven't shopped there yet, please do buy things from my website. If there's any delays, I'll always let you know that there's going to be a delay and why. But for the most part, yeah, that's it. I do appreciate your business. So let us now. I told you something else I wanted to tell you. Nero 5, the pump from AI. I wanted to give you guys a quick update. There's nothing to show you. It's just a pump that's a little bit dirty. But after several months of running it, I'd say about 5 months, I took it out of the tank, and it has a super long cord to a little dongle-looking thing that's the controller that then a power supply plugs into that. And that thing is only about this big. It's really small, and it's Bluetooth enabled to where you can hold your phone near it. You can use the app, program the flow rate you want and the modes you want, and then you hit save, and it saves it into that little thing, and then boom, this pump knows what to do. Anyway, I've been running that pump for about 5 months or so, and I disconnected from the power cord, and I was able to take that head off the magnet, just comes right off, super easy out of the tank. walk it over the sink, take it apart, clean it in about 3 minutes flat, looked nice and clean. I mean, it wasn't perfect because I wasn't trying to scrub it down to plastic, but I wanted to get rid of anything that was, big and dirty. And then I put it back together super easily, snapped it back in the tank, plugged it back in, and kept going. I'm really impressed with that little pump. I believe this month it's on sale, like 50 bucks off. So whoever's selling it, you should buy it. Kind of wish I'd put some in my shop. But no, it's a really good pump. So if you were wondering how's the Nero 5 working, it's working great. I really enjoy that one in my Frag tank. It's putting a lot of flow. I don't believe I'm running it very fast. I'd have to check the app and see what flow rate it's at right now. Let me see. Have you started getting so many apps for your aquarium you had to make a folder just for your aquarium apps? I have to. All right, so my AI is the app, and it's probably looking for the pump. Okay, I just want to see the schedule. Let's try that. Right now it's running at 23.95 gallons per hour. So I'm running it at, what is that, 75, 80% of its maximum flow. It can move up to 3,000 gallons an hour. So if you were thinking about that pump and you're like, what should I do? And I liked it a lot. I like that I can actually pop it off the glass, like off that little magnet Oreo thing they have, clean the glass, and then pop it right back into place. And you can tilt it slightly to point the flow slightly, but usually I don't care about direction. I'm more about just getting flow through the tank and chaotic flow. What else? I think that's it. Okay, so test your water, I told you. Post your results online. I use Reef Trace. It's an app. And I'll show you that because everyone always says, what is that app? It's called Reef Trace. And Reef Trace has all my parameters in it. And it's how I share my results to the web. It also has notes in it, which I really like. Reef Trace has been made for iOS as well as for Android. They are doing, at this point now, every single release is going to both platforms at the same time, which is kind of cool. And the notes section has reminders, replenishing, replacing, cleaning. There's all these tabs. You can mark everything you're doing and keep track of when you did something, when you bought a new thing, when you had to refill something. Like, when did I put new biopellets in my reactor? Let me look in my app. And you can set up push reminders to let you know, hey, it's time to change my carbonate. Hey, it's Saturday, test your water. And it'll pop up on your screen of your phone. So I really do like that app, and I recommend it to you, of course. I am a partner in it. An unpaid partner, but I am a partner in it. So I can promote it as much as I want, and it's not about money. And now, let me see if I can hit some questions here for you guys. So I see quite a few here. So I'm going to do this as fast as I can. How did I like Miami? It was quick. I flew in. I went straight from there to Two Little Fishies. I got to walk through their warehouse for about 15 minutes and see everything. I sell Two Little Fishies products, and so that was fun. And then I got to get on a personal, privately owned 737 jet that had been converted into living rooms and bedrooms and bathrooms and kitchens, and it was fantastic. Everything had gold trim, gorgeous, and I even got to sit in the cockpit, which was really cool. Then I went and filmed a tank, which you guys are going to have a video coming about soon. And my goal is to do the Tammy video and get that out by next Saturday. So that is my goal before I leave town. So you can look forward to that. And I think it's going to release right at the time of the live stream, so you have something to watch since I won't be here. And then, the tank that I just filmed, you'll be seeing that shortly thereafter. And then after that, I did the club meeting, and then we grabbed dinner, and then I got 2 hours sleep, and then I flew right back home. So that was my quick trip. Reef Madness says, that, well, I'm sure this is out of context, but he said, if it makes you feel better, 3 months ago I knew nothing about salt water, and you've taught me so much so far. And I do appreciate that you come here for knowledge. That's the whole point of this channel, and I can't even help myself. I cannot just do funny videos. I focus more on teaching. I can't help myself. James Beckett asks, can someone enlighten me as to how long RODI is stable in a sealed food grade container? I would say that water in a sealed container is good for a month, RO water, maybe longer. Think about those jugs of water you buy at the supermarket. They just fill them on the shelves. How old is that water from the point of when they bottled it up to the point where people are just using it? But if it's sealed, I'd say a month is going to be a safe bet. Same goes for sealed salt water, but I wouldn't use salt water that's older than a month, I don't think. I wouldn't. So that's just my opinion. Mike B thought that my frag tank was tied to my reef. Absolutely not. I couldn't, because I walk through a fish room, and the frag tank is on my left and the reef is to my right, and then on the other side of the wall is the kitchen and the anemone cube. And if I were to have the frag tank tied in, I would have to step over plumbing, and I definitely did not want anything in my way, because that's how I get to my workshop where I do all my acrylic fabrications. And I go in and out of that corridor 1,000 times a day. I put in something like 4 to 6 miles of walking in my own home every day. It's insane. Neil asks, no-pox or refugium or both? That's a hard choice. I love refugiums for the growth of macroalgae, which reduces nuisance algae in the tank, and it gives it a place for pods to breed and grow and flourish to then pump back up to the system for the fish to eat. So I like it just for that alone. And the Triton sump method uses a huge refugium. And they also say don't do water changes. So refugium is actually really beneficial. And I don't run a tank without one, so maybe that's part of my answer. No-pox is to help reduce nitrate and phosphate. So I would not count on a refugium to remove your nitrate and phosphate enough. Now maybe a good huge refugium plus water changes, you'd be fine. But you may want to go the no-pox route. And that is actually one that I'll be doing once I come home from my trip. I am not going to hook up some dosing pump to no-pox and be out of town for 8 days. No chance. Not with a brand new product I've never used before. Dustin was not listening to me. When you use Live Rock Enhance, you don't turn off anything. You don't do water changes. All you do is put it in the tank like you're feeding your reef, and that's it. And it's a use it as needed, not use it every week or use it every 2 weeks. Or I feel like this is going to be one of those things that's sort of like a once a year purchase, and you're like, I want to do this, and then you'll do it and you're done. It's not a regular thing that, I mean, maybe they want you to use it regularly, but that's not how that's not how I understand it. Let me see what the instructions say. Give me a second here. Okay, it says in here, for optimal results, add to a few ounces of aquarium water in a separate container, let it sit for 20 or 30 minutes, stirring every 10 minutes. Pour that solution into a high current area to ensure best distribution. Repeat dose every week until the desired results are achieved. Maintain adequate aeration and water circulation. So why would you have to put this in water and soak it? To activate the bacteria, to basically make it hatch. It's sort of like Benareef, that food that I like so much. You have to put it in water for 5 minutes to get the bacteria activated, and then you pour it in. But I'm telling you, I literally just put the scoops in the tank, and boom, I was done. I did nothing more, nothing less, and I just watched the tank become better over time. So, but did you see that one point it said, until the desired results are achieved? Don't be overly ambitious and say, I want perfect rock. Just be realistic. All right. For curing live rock, it says dose daily. Oh, this is really curing live rock. This is live rock with ammonia. I was thinking more like cleaning the rock. It says dose daily until ammonia level is 0 and the water is clear. Curing is further enhanced by aeration, use of a protein skimmer, or changing water if it gets cloudy. By the way, the cloudy, that's very important. I want to mention that. So your water will get cloudy when you put this in your tank for a few hours. And then after about 6 hours, your water's crystal clear again. And if you were to want to enjoy your tank all day, use it at night. You know, that when you're going to dose it, that time, I really want to emphasize, this is not a regular thing. It's not you're going to do it all the time. You're going to need to buy tons of this. This is more of this is something to use to rejuvenate your tank. Just like spring cleaning. Okay, maybe that's my best example. All right, that's it. Drama says, where's the green screen? Well, I tried it out for that one video. I'd love to hear what you guys thought of how that came out, because that's the first time I've ever worked with it. And it was interesting and fun, and I have ideas in mind now. It's actually awesome because all this stuff in the background is like clutter, and it's kind of noisy, right? And with a green screen, you can just have a nice opaque background. It's really, I could see some amazing reasons for it, but at the same time, you have to kind of shift, and you have to set up like a really good studio, the way everything's rigged. And you guys have seen a couple pictures on Instagram what my living room becomes when I have to do these streams. But yeah, I like the idea of using the green screen for more stuff, and that definitely will be happening. Nick says, I got myself a beautiful little tiger tail coral beauty today. Any tips for keeping them off my corals? Well, coral beauties are the dwarf angelfish, and they are usually safe around corals. I guess you'd have to see which corals they're picking on specifically and see if it's becoming a problem or not, because it may be that it only wants certain, like one or two that really cares about, and all the rest it'll totally ignore. Or maybe it's just finding little bits of stuff to eat and it's not doing any harm at all. But keeping a fish off of a coral, the only way to do that is not have the fish in your reef tank in the first place. Kev says, would you say the Live Rock Enhance is an alternative for ChemiClean? Absolutely not. ChemiClean is a medication. And there's a lot of theories of what it is. I actually don't know. No one's ever told me, and I never asked because it's sort of like that trade secret type stuff. This is a jar of bacteria. So if you have bacteria in your tank right now doing their thing, call this the antibacteria. This is the ones that are not in your tank that you need so desperately to start consuming and eating and devouring waste. And that's probably a terrible description, but then again, I did not invent this stuff. I just used it, and I was really impressed by it. Can you show us the broken magnet? Yes, look on my Instagram, and you'll see the picture there. I can pull up the photo. Hang on. I always like things to look really nice for you guys. So if you look right there, hang on, I gotta move this so I can see what you can see. You can see there's a split in the edge, and the very bottom edge has a smidge of rust. It just barely cracked open. And if you held the magnet in your hand, you could feel it swollen slightly. It was just a little wider on that side than the other side. It wasn't just smooth like a perfect cookie. So it had split open a little tiny bit and caught it. And then the other one that I cleaned looks perfect. So, and that's the older model, which is kind of funny to me. I was thinking, yeah, the old one, it won't be doing well. Okay. Massini asks, is it possible to do no water changes? Yes, do some research on Triton. Triton does a no water change system. Jason asks, what does a failed magnet leach into the water? Typically, we refer to it as rust, but there's definitely metals in a magnet that we don't want in our salt water. That's why they're sealed, to protect our system. And also, some magnets are made of different chemicals, or they're made up of different stuff. There's rare earth magnets, and then there's, I don't know. I'm not a magnet guy. I did my best. DC Brixton says, is it possible to dose by hand? You mean like dose your tank? Yes. That's how we used to do it before we had dosing pumps. Are you going to be at Aquashella both days? Yes, I am going to be there both days. I'm speaking Saturday morning. Have you ever thought about removing the sand bed? Absolutely not. I love my sand bed. I cannot stand a tank with no sand. It drives me absolutely nuts. All I want to do is go in there and distract the owner and then throw some sand on their tank and walk away. Tyler says, hi Mark, I'm curing live rock and feel my API test kit isn't that great. Do you recommend something else for ammonia? You know, API does fine for measuring ammonia. That's not a complicated test, and it does the job, and it doesn't cost a lot. If you want to use Salifert, or you want to use Elos, or you want to use Nios, you want to use Red Sea, you could, but I really think you're going to get what you need from that test kit. How does live rock enhance compare to other bacteria in a bottle stuff? I have a new 200-gallon tank with rock in it, cycling and using Microbacter 7. Not sure if it'll do anything, but all right. Well, Mike, B, buy a bottle of this and try it out and tell me, because I think you're going to be impressed. I mean, I know you're going to be impressed. I just don't want to oversell it, but I really, I'm so impressed by this that when our club newsletter said we need some content, I wrote them 2 paragraphs about this product. So it's funny that I get, okay, so let me be brutally honest. If I sell you one of these, I make $5. I'm not getting rich selling, even if I sell 10 of these, what is that, 50 bucks? The time it takes me to take your order, update my spreadsheet, pack it up in an envelope, in a padded envelope, print the labels, and update the website, and get an email out to you showing that your order is shipped, and take it to the post office, barely justifies the $5. So there you go. Hey, someone's been cleaning up the questions. All right, let's see. Alex Reyes says, I'm moving in a week. I'm moving half an hour away. Should I get new sand? It hasn't been stirred in over a year. Well, I don't stir sand ever. So, but if the sand bed is, well, you just told me, it's over a year old. So I would take the sand out and I would wash it and put it in the aquarium that you have now cleaned in your new location, and then add all your livestock. That's what I would do. But if you don't want to wash the sand, you can scoop it out and throw it away, and you can put brand new live sand in your aquarium at the new location and save yourself some extra work. My moderators are saying the overwhelming response is to keep collecting for the Coral Thicket project. So that's really exciting. All right. Hey, they say we're out of questions, and we're out of time. It's been an hour. Hey, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. Let's see how we're doing today. 156 people are on at this moment. I probably lost a few when I got off my topic and switched to other topics. But I do appreciate getting together with you guys every single Saturday. It's a lot of fun for me, and it helps keep me on top of things as well. It helps me stay, I don't know, I'm pretty damn focused. Yes, I said the D word on YouTube. But I really do enjoy our interactions and sharing the latest information and helping you make your tanks look prettier. That's pretty much what I want. So thank you for everything that you're doing each week. And when you sit there and you decide, hey, Mark said I should do this. Oh, I did have one more thing to share with you. Ha! See, I told you I forgot stuff. All right, so got a bowl. It's a very cold bowl. It's full of ice. And I wanted to update you guys on this. See, by staying to the end, you did not miss this. See, I lost 6 people because I was wrapping it up, and so they hung up. This right here is food from Rod's Food. This is something new that's called polyp poppers. And because I kept on ice, it's still frozen. And if you were to look really closely, you will see, if it'll focus, little tiny eggs. They are really, really, really tiny. So the front of it has the famous Rod's Food clownfish, which is mama. On the side it says, the needs of many. And it's this color, which is kind of yellow, like a banana. So I posted a picture of this a couple weeks ago on my YouTube on the community tab, and I said, what do you know the inside joke? Can you figure it out? And a lot of people were on track, but they didn't quite put the entire story together. So while I'm scooping out some of this, I just want to kind of show you guys what it looks like. Boy, these are tiny. I just was hoping that they break down into this little cup. That'll work. This is really, really small food. Okay, so you guys know that my Nassau Tang, her name is Spock. And you may know that she eats banana. And so I have been telling Rod for a while, we need a banana-flavored food. And he just always thought I was crazy. But she loves it. And not only does she love it, the purple tang eats it, all the anthias eat it, the clownfish get excited, and soon everyone's eating it when banana goes in the water because no one wants to miss out. But Spock loves banana. And she caught me eating it once without sharing, got mad at me. So Rod came out with this food that looks like it's banana-flavored. And then he put the needs of many on the front as an inside joke to me because Spock likes banana-flavored food, and this looks banana-flavored, and so it has a little connection to the Star Trek-y part in that the needs of the many. I was like, that is awesome. So I actually don't call them polyp poppers. I call them Spock eggs. So there you can see how small they are. They are little tiny dots. And I actually saw a video on the Rod's Food page. They posted it last night or this morning. I think it was last night, where someone was using a pipette and drizzling these little eggs onto polyps of acropora so the acropora could eat them, which kind of looked like the opposite of an acropora spawning where we watched little eggs going up in the water. Here it was drizzling down so they could consume it in each of their little mouths, because these dots are so crazy small. Let's see if we can get this to tilt down low enough. It won't focus. But anyway, you get the idea. It's really, 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 I mean, these things are like 1 millimeter. So I'm going to throw these in my tank today. But yeah, so that was a really cool nod that he gave me to do that. You know, it's an inside joke, like I said. So Spock, Vulcan, needs of the many, looks like Spock eggs. I just love it. And what type of eggs are they? Don't know. And if you ask him, he'll say, I won't tell you. So it's just fish food, or it's coral food is what it is. And it would be something you would want to go ahead and put like in acans or fungia or hammer corals, torch corals, frog spawn. They could all eat it. The SPS can definitely eat it if it gets on them. You might have to stop the flow to do it. This would be great for someone that has a frag tank where they kill the flow and they are hand feeding their corals to get them to grow a little quicker. So yeah, you should buy some Spock eggs from Rod's Food if you see them. And if you don't see them and you can get Rod's Food, you can request it. Their real name is polyp poppers, but I just call them Spock eggs. So that was that. All right, that's it. We're going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching, and do your water test, post your results, join Club Milos Reef if you have not yet, because that's where we talk about everything. There will be, I will give an update before I leave town on the total amount of funds that we raised for this project, and then when I get there, I will give them the money, and I will take videos and pictures, and I will be bringing back all that information with me and give you an update of how it went when I'm back from the trip. So no live stream next Saturday, no live stream the Saturday after that. But there will be videos dropping on those days if I can schedule them properly on YouTube so you have something to watch. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Oh, and mandarins are not gobies.